All right, we are live with the Rochester Jeffersons against the New York, what is it, the New York Renegades? No, New York something. Let's take a look. I'm sure you look. Something to do with poker. Oh, Rounders, the New York Rounders. That's what it is. So, New York is up 6-0 over Rochester. We are early in the second quarter. We're just finishing up the broadcast of the other game, and then we're on this one. There's a 9-yard bust run for Matthew Stafford. Cheer this out. Just remember the block. Field gets to run a flat pass. Incomplete, second and 10. Let's see if we get Ryan on here. Hey, Brian.
Hello? Oh, hello.
What a game.
Well, I was freaking lucky.
I started it off as a silent cast, and I wasn't really paying too much attention to it. But then I was able to start doing play-by-play in the third quarter or fourth quarter. Yeah, I think right around there, and I caught the ending end. That was just amazing.
That was insane.
Yeah, it was one play. That was the entire game came down to one play, and fortunately for you, it went the right way. Did you have any thoughts on that last drive? Were you trying to accomplish it when you used your timeouts, that kind of stuff?
The last play I was hoping he'd call pass, and ironically, had he called pass, I would have lost. Because I figured if he calls pass, I'm good on my card 5 through 9, and
right.
Still most of his card with the poor D. I didn't want to run up the middle like I like to with Pacheco a lot because he's got those 2-6 inside, those 2-6 inside linebackers. So I was like, and I've played Nick, I'm sure, a million times. Pretty much most people know my tendency is I don't throw the ball much inside the 5-yard line. I'm one of the most conservative people ever when it comes to that. So I'm like, all right, he'll probably keep Pacheco. It's almost like a bonus sometimes having only one back there because they assume, like if it's a run, it's almost like a free key because they know Juszczyk can't carry the ball. So it's like, all right, he'll keep Pacheco. I'll get Puka with 3 men, and none of that happened. But luckily, Tyrod with his bum card, and he had missed like the first 2 or 3 in that situation. So I guess he was at least due. I was hoping a couple times I threw the look in, hoping to get the no man like the Kittle wrong because he's got a long gain on his wrong there. So I was like, maybe I can get lucky there, but oof. That or hoping the Tyrod when Tyrod rolled the 8 on the must run, I knew it was 2-6 for the touchdown. I'm like, all right, that's my best shot. He rolled the 8. I was like, at least it got out of bounds. But I thought I don't do so well scoring against that kind of defense inside the 5, as evidenced by my multiple field goals earlier. So
yeah. Well, that was a great ending, and I forgot about that. So he has poor pass defense.
Oh yeah, he is poor, and I hit
the
first drive. I hit like 5 in a row. I got down to the red zone and I stalled there. Yeah, that's why when it came to picking teams, everybody that I played was a real close game that made the playoffs. I lost to New York. I didn't want to play you because I beat you on that lucky end run wrong last play of the game. So that was, a fluke. I only beat Weston in overtime. So that was, another nail biter game. But in that one, I allowed 4 kickoff returns on the 2 and 4 roll. I'm like, well, that's pretty rare. That was 100 some yards that he wouldn't normally got. Oliver had an 8-yard long game. They gave up a pick 6. So I was like, all right, matchup wise, that might be my best. I don't like playing against 3-4s. So I'm like, well, if I just go 3 wide, I should be able to flat pass all day against the bad linebackers. I neutralizes Jacksonville pass rush, which is, monsters. It worked great against Hal. Didn't work real good against Nick. Tyrod missed like 8 or 10 in a row at one point, and a couple of it was bad rolls, but a lot of it was he had 2 guys in zone. He double teamed. He did, he just made great call. It's not like poor pass defense when you play him because he doubles so well and moves guys so well. It's like, oh crap! One of every 3 or 4 rolls was somebody doubled or 2 men in zone. So I didn't really. The first touchdown I got was thanks to the bad D. I beat. He was doubling Kittle, and I threw long to Atwell, and I beat the 0 for 40 some yards, and I eventually scored. But no, he did a great job calling. I couldn't take advantage of anything.
Amazing. So Nick almost advanced to the money, getting into money with poor pass defense.
With poor pass defense. Well, I was sitting there texting Greg. I'm like, summer sprint, I don't care what my pass defense is because poor is just as good as everything else. I'm like, I can't move the ball. Like the first drive was great. And then, once you get inside the 20, it's hard for me to score anyway. I don't have an explosive back. And, if Tyrod's not getting must runs, I'm not really going anywhere. So a lot of times teams can call run, and I got to hope for receiver card, which is why I stepped up to take the Rams. I'm like, well, at least I'll have, my receivers will be great. So I can get a lot of those. But in that stretch, Kittle missed the key 4th and 1. I had 2nd and 1. I went nothing. That was a big turnover. Cooper missed a couple that I thought he could have had, but I got lucky. Mike Williams dropped 2 passes in a row. Like he eventually scored, but I thought I was going to get out of it. He double boxed me on the 3rd and 7. I was crap. But it made up for the 2 double boxes I got or single boxes I got him in a row earlier. I got only field goal out of it, but I went back-to-back 8s for 36 yards. No, he called a great game with that pass defense. If I had that pass defense, I'd give up 50 points. He's really aggressive.
I'm the same way. So, yeah, pretty impressive. Very impressive.
Yeah, he makes so many good calls that it's really not like facing poor pass defense.
Right.
But yeah, I thought I was texting Greg. I thought I was going to be the Virginia Cavaliers there, number 1 seed, and then get bumped out in the first round. Like, oh man, what a fail!
Almost.
Well, should have. Yeah, I got a couple lucky rolls at the end. That's for sure. Getting out of bounds and getting my card 4. It's Tyrod's not so good. Guess wrong.
Matthew Stafford just hit Amari Cooper for a touchdown. But another high seed, the number 2 seed, Rochester Jeffersons, go up 7-6 against New York. So
I wanted to avoid New York because of those. I was so afraid of the A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith double thing. It was like, it's like that's. You guess wrong a couple of times. I hit a couple of long gains. All of a sudden, you're down 14. It was like, at least the Charger receivers aren't as explosive. They catch the ball with Keenan and stuff, but they're not as long gainy, thankfully. So
yeah, that seems to be one of the ways you can win in this league is getting those big chunk plays. So
yeah, you get a couple chunks, and I'm curious to see how high Dolphins receivers go for summer sprint because they're so good. Greg was thinking about taking them fourth. We were talking last night. I'm like, I don't think you can pass on the Rams. He's like, what about this, that? I'm like, look at all the dudes you get. Like, you'll never run out of carries. You make your quarterback automatically a monster, whoever he is, because you got to guard against all the runs. But yeah, he was like, because he loves the pass, he loves to throw the ball deep and so on. And I was like, well, you are, that would make the time he made the finals. He had I think Rams receivers and the old stuff, Bruce and Holt and all those guys. He was like, those guys are game changers. I'm like, to me, like, I don't use them enough. I'm like, if I had Tyreek Hill, he'd have like 800 yards. Like, the way I coach and play, I don't use those guys enough. He does, but he's like, okay, I'll try something different. You win a lot of games, so we'll see. We'll see how he does with it. He'll have to adjust his style a little bit, but like, you can't turn down those backs. They're so good.
Yeah, and and there's everybody in this set has a little bit of a fumbling issue. So
yeah,
despite that, I would still think that would have been one of my targets too. I haven't even really looked at things, which is
where do you pick?
Right now, I'm up right now.
Oh, you're up now. Okay, I'm 15.
Yeah.
So, but I've had a streak of I got Kozar last one with number 1, and then did I pick number 1 for this too? I think I did, because when I took there wasn't a real clear cut. I took the New Orleans defensive backs. I think they were the number 1 D backs. I think I did pick first. If not, I picked real high. I know that.
Yeah, you're getting some good results on those rolls.
Yeah, this time this evened out a little bit. I'm really in the middle. Seems like I'm like about 40% of the time I'm real high, like maybe 40% or 30% I'm real low, and once in a while I'm in the middle. But a lot of times I seem to be I've definitely been more up than a lot of people. I mean, I've picked high a lot, so due to even out at some point.
Yeah, for sure. Well, good. Congratulations. You obviously you won't know until the final game.
Yeah, who won? Was that was the second game, right? Did somebody? You're playing Monday, right?
Yes, and there were other games going on right now.
Yeah,
and then there was another game earlier, which has already been decided.
Who won that one?
See, that was.
Because I probably don't want you or.
I don't know. I'm not. I'll be lucky if I get past this next round myself.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, yeah, but you win lots of games. I always look at like, did I get lucky to win the game or did I deserve to win the game? I was like, well, I was losing to you with 12 seconds to go, so I did not deserve to win the game. Was it Arsenal? Did they win? Oh, Ann Arbor won.
I'm playing Arsenal. Ann Arbor beat Ramsey.
Oh, you play Arsenal. Arsenal has my number a lot. He's in a couple other leagues with me. We play a lot of close games, and he comes out ahead more than I would like. So he's a solid. He does well. For sure. So yeah, it's almost like I almost don't like being the number 1 guy. I don't like to pick my opponent. I feel like it's like
some people
like asking for my poison.
Exactly.
Like asking condemned man, how do you want to die? I don't know.
But you should get an advantage for finishing with the high seed, and I think.
I agree. I mean, the way you set these up is. I mean, these tournaments. I wish that I've been talking to I do a lot of baseball tournaments. I used to do a ton of face-to-face ones. Like I used to go like 6 or 7 a year. Now that I'm old, I don't have as much time and so on. But once my kid's in college, I'll get back to that a lot more. But I mean, I would love for like the face-to-face baseball guys to run tournaments like this. Like, you have to do it on a computer. But, everybody bring a laptop and so on. But I'm like, the draft is fast. The format is there's nothing I would possibly change with this format. I try to get my friends, like other strat guys I know. I'm like, dude, this guy runs like 2 tournaments a year. I try to get Mike Kane to do it because he says he knows you from Brammer and stuff.
Well, not from Brammer, but just from the forum. Yeah.
Oh, just from forum. Okay. Yeah. Because Mike's from Erie. We play face-to-face baseball on Wednesdays, and I see him out and about. We played softball together back in the day. I've known Mike for a long time. But I'm like, you got to do these things, man. They're so much fun. It's just like, the format is great. The games are all close pretty much because every team has some sort of holes in it no matter what you do. It's like I'm looking at 15 like, what do if I take a line, if I take a D line, then my linebacker's going to be bad. If I take this, my defense, you know what I mean? There's so many things to consider.
Yeah, and then if you mess up and you have a bad team, just write it off and next time.
Right.
You don't have to live with it.
Yeah, 5-6 months later, we got it going again. So, yeah, if you screw something up and it's like, you mess up, it's like, well, yeah, it's not a dynasty team where you're stuck with it for, 3 or 4 years to fix it. So,
exactly.
Well, good stuff. I'm glad you put these on, and that was sure one lucky win. So,
Well, coming up to halftime here in the Rochester Jeffersons against the New York Rounders game, and it looks like the Rounders are in field goal range. So another possible upset brewing, but this latest one looked like it might be an upset. But Brian, you were able to pull it out. Congratulations, and good luck in your next round.
thanks, man. I'll talk to you later.
Talk to you soon. All right, so 2nd and 6 turns into 3rd and 6. 22 seconds left. Here we go. Two tights, two wides. Field goal's good. So they take a 9-7 lead. Squib kick's going to be the second left at the 31. Incomplete. So that'll take us to the halftime. 9-7 New York on top of Rochester. We got a halftime visitor. What's up, Anthony?
Hey, Dennis. How are you?
Good. I just got done interviewing Brian after the first game, so he's interrupted quite a bit of the play-by-play here in the first half. But
Did he win?
he did. He well, maybe I shouldn't tell you, but it came down to the last play. I guess it's too late for our viewers. But yeah, pretty good game. And,
Good.
yeah, he was facing a Westland team that was playing with a poor pass defense, which I didn't even realize because I was kind of working while I was broadcasting at the end. It was a silent cast up until like the late third quarter. So you get the fourth quarter play-by-play. I'll share that link out after this game, and I made this game a separate broadcast. So, any thoughts on trailing New York? It's putting up a decent fight.
Yeah, I mean, his offense, his small ball is really working well for him. So he's putting together real long drives, not able to slow it down yet. Able to slow it down to field goals, though, which is good. My offense has done well. I just gotten sort of stymied. Missed a 2 through 9, 12 field goal on the first drive, which is kind of the difference in the game right now. And then missed a 3rd and 3 where it was an 80%er from his just past midfield and got a 4 white die.
Kirk Cousins 14 to 19. That's unheard of in this format. 37.
Yeah, slicing and dicing is hitting the flat passes, So, hopefully he's staying away from short and deep. He, had one long pass wrong opportunity there. And I got the double team flat pass, which obviously helped a lot on 3rd down if you saw that. But it should be a good half. Should come right down to the wire. He's ready to go. So I will pop out and I'll see you a little later.
All right, take care.
Yep.
Good luck. Here we go. Make sure I did the total effort. We're good. A 12-yard pickup on the interception split, so changing it up a little bit. Let's go with a short pass here to start us off. Inside run to Jones. Guess wrong. Man in zone. Short gain on Jones' card. So that takes it past midfield. So the small ball of the Rounders is working well. Short gain on a flat pass, square to Devonta Smith. Something at 13. Close to field goal range, if not already in it. Tackle left, guessed right, but it hits the D card for 8-yard pickup. Second and 2. The Rounders would love to get a touchdown here, make it a 2-score game. Another 17-year pickup on a flat pack. Jake Ferguson was the recipient this time. Six-yard pick up on the square end of Devonta Smith. Now the flat pass is off the table inside the 10. But he's only got 4 yards to pick up. Goes to the full house. But not Dave Dillon, it's Patrick Taylor along with Aaron Jones. Let's take a look at these guys' teeth cards. Good average for Rochester. Average for New York. Inside run to Taylor. Tyler Linderbaum makes the block. And that'll be 2-score lead if he makes this extra point, and he does. So Rochester finds themselves down by 9. First and 10, now down to the 30, out to the 38. Sideline to Khalil Shakir. It's at 9. Matt Breida in the backfield in the 2 tight 2 wide. Sorry for going silent there. I'm trying to figure out my pick in the summer sprint. I'm up at round 1. Parking in the backfield, two tights, two wide. First and 10 at the 50. Plenty of time left. You do want to get some points on the board to get that back to a single score game. Slant to Johnny Smith, lots of pressure coming. But there's no black ID, so it's a 12-yard pickup on the deep side. Ooh, lightning strike. Defensive back in zone X or long game on a long pass, and it connects for a long game, 56 yards. Jordan Whitehead got beat by the white die 5. Extra point is good. Back to a 2-point game. Yard return. The Estridge rumbles it out to the 46. Square right. He had 2 men in the zone, but it lands on the offensive card. Inside run to Dillon. Gets wrong, picks up 7. A good kickoff return. It's got them in field goal range just about already. Run to Dillon again. This time guessed right. It's the D card. So I know how Anthony's feeling on defense. Sometimes you get a guess right, it lands on the D card. You get a guess wrong, it lands on what we have in zone, and it lands on the O card. A sack, crossing cutter to Devonta Smith. Linderbaum gets beat by Dalvin Tomlinson for at 3rd and 7. Let's take a look at the field goal kicker. I know one of you has a butt cut. Zerline is 2 through 9 from the 33 to the 38. I think Rochester has. Oh no, Jake Elliott. Butker must have been previously. He's good out to the 44, 2 through 9 and 12. So another sack here would push him out of field goal range, but he's in a 2 tights, 2 wide with Jones in the shotgun. So look at those matchups. We got 6-12-7 Miles Garrett, 4-7 Zadarius Smith, and 4-5 Dalvin Tomlinson. The offensive line pass blocking 5, 3, 5, 7, 5. It's the Ravens offensive line. Inside run draw to Aaron Jones. And he gets 5, so 4th and 2. Might think about going for it. Taking the field goal would make sure he can't get overtaken by a field goal himself. Push that 2-point lead to a 5-point lead. But with that flat passing card of Cousins and the decent guest right runners, looks like he's going to go for it. I don't know though. Let's see. Jones is a better pass catcher. Oh, he's really good guest right. Yeah. So you got Jones as linebacker or off tackle versus Kirk Cousins flat pass. So look for Anthony to call run and flood the flats, or maybe try to double team his receiver if he's got a beat on who he likes to throw to in this situation. Curl to AJ Brown. He's double teamed, and there is no dump off here. But it's a sniper scope for 31 yards and a touchdown. Oh, my stars and garters. He had him double teamed correctly. And I believe it was, I think it was a linebacker though. So, but a receiver rating on a 7 is going to be incomplete. All receivers have to complete on 7. Cousins pushes it back to a 9-point lead. What a roll there. So even though the double team, because it was by a linebacker, he had a decent chance to pick that up. But the sniper scope made it automatic. Got right to John New Smith. Pick up 7. So long march down the field again for the Jeffersons as they try to overcome that rough play on 4th down. Pitch out right to Barkley. Gets wrong. 35, 3rd and 3. Full house here on 3rd and 3. Pitch out right to Barkley. Guess wrong. He's going to pick up 12. We talked a little bit about this during the regular season, but Anthony does like to go to the full house formation. And now he's switching up. Let's see if he's going to do it now. Bumps his glove blocking up by a point, although he's got 2 6s already on the line. So those guys don't improve. But his 4s, 5s, and 0s all improved. Off tackle draw to Ty Johnson, so he thinks he's going to call pass. Picks up 7 yards on 1st down, 2nd and 3. deep to Saquon Barkley. Just right on the quarterback spot. 45% chance of a sack there. Bosa up against Caleb McGarry. 33 now. Back to the full house. Not sure you can get away with calling it a draw here, but it's probably more likely than normal to call a run here. But he doesn't call a draw. He does go off tackle right. He gets the first down, 9 yards. No sack. He can't make the play. Looks like it was a 5-8 move. If he would have made the play, still been the first down. Third quarter winding down. Another 2 plays. Right here, pick up, pitch out right to Barkley. One more play. Oh, Bob's here.
Hey,
What's up, Bob?
how you doing?
Good.
Figured I'd check in. I had a game that got delayed, so here I am.
Nice. Well, if it gets canceled, we can play our game after this.
No, I can't.
Come on. 23-14. You can do it. You
Good
can do
game.
it. Yeah, it's a good game. When you're a favorite, we'd all agree that the Rochester was a favorite in this matchup. Number 2 seed. The further you get in the game, the longer you're trailing, the more pressure it puts on you.
Yeah.
Square into Khalil Shakir. It's going to pick up 15. That's going to take some pressure off. Sets up a first and goal at the 8. The New York Rounders, Ryan's been doing a lot of flat passing, a lot of running, and controlling the clock. Let's see. It's balanced out a little bit now, but let's do the box score. The time of possession is now even, as Rochester's putting together some long drives now. But you can see Kirk Cousins, only 5 incomplete passes, 20 and 25.
Oof.
Did you see that sniper? Did you see the sniper scope for the touchdown to push it back to 2 scores again, or did you just recently tune in?
I just tuned in.
Okay, so it was 4th and 2 at the 31 of Rochester. The Rounders decided to go for it. Anthony double teamed the wide receiver with a linebacker, and it rolled on a short pass, guess right, sniper scope on a 10,
Oof.
and turned into a 31-yard touchdown that pushed the lead back up to 9 points.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was a pretty good call by Anthony, but a better roll. Now we have first goal. There's the block by the guard. Chris Lindstrom takes it down to the 1. Second goal to 1. So this is the second time that New York's gone up by 9, and we saw the same thing with Rochester going right down the field in the very next drive and cutting that lead back to 2. And they're a yard away from doing the same thing for the second time this game. Yeah, 2 really good teams, 2 really good coaches battling it out. 13:48 to go in the 4th quarter. And then I recorded the earlier game, which came down to the last play. I'll put that link up. You can watch that.
Yeah, don't tell me. I want to watch, see what happened. Yeah, listen, this league, every coach is really good, and all these teams are good, So it just comes down to making good calls and getting good rolls. That's it.
So what production are you doing now for your?
I'm in. This is really interesting. It's an original murder mystery comedy, and it's about a guy. 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 the audience participates in the show as far as trying to guess who the murderer is. Touchdown.
There you go. Guess wrong. He keyed the quarterback. But when you're on the 1 yard line, you got to take some chances. So
Yeah.
back to a 2-point lead. So does it change every performance? There's a different person that's the murderer?
No, there's only. It's a great question because I have family going to 2 different nights, and I said you can't talk to each other, Look, and I've been getting peppered with, give us a clue, give us a hint. I'm not saying anything. You got to try to figure out your own. It's going to be a fun show for people to participate. And what's really interesting is it's not a theater. It's done like an American Legion Hall. So there's tables all around the stage, and we have to interact with the audience. And it's going to be really cool. We open tomorrow night.
Nice.
My character is a washed-up Shakespearean actor who just was dying to do a show, and he decided to do this show. And so I'm Count Dracula in the show. It's so funny. It's really, really
Very
funny.
cool.
Yeah.
A little spin-off of Only Murders in the Building type.
Yeah, exactly.
Comedy and the murders.
Oh, nice run. There you go.
Yes, run by Patrick Taylor. He's been mixing in all 3 backs: Taylor, Aaron Jones, and Dylan. And it's been a situation where Anthony will have, he'll guess right on a run, and it'll go on the D cards for 8 yards.
Yeah.
He'll guess wrong, but he has 2 men in the zone, and it'll go on the quarterback's card. That kind of a frustrating defensive game for Anthony. Here's the guess right run to Patrick Taylor. My card, your card, and this time he keeps it on that running back card. So 3rd and 4.
Yeah, when you play Anthony, you got to watch your tendencies because he's so good at figuring that stuff out. And Ryan's a really good coach too. He knows his stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Anthony's got some printouts that he's conferring with, trying to figure out what to call.
Mm-hmm.
Jones is in the game now at halfback. Excuse me. Let me get the stop here. Get the ball back with a chance to take the lead. Calls run. Lots of flats.
Ooh.
Oh, when it goes on the guess wrong, short pass, 3 roll on the D card. So the Rounders will be forced to punt. Jeffersons also had a missed field goal earlier in the first half, which obviously plays a part now. 51-yard punt. And a 13-yard return. So Rochester will take over on their own 31.
What was it on Cousins' card? If you hit Cousins' card there, do you know? The 3?
Let's take a look. Oh, it's 3's a short game in Cousins' card.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, no. Short. Sorry, short pass. Easy.
Yeah, short. Yeah. I can't look. I'll look.
Yeah, I can look on the league manager. But yeah, take a look. 3 on the.
I'm going to look. Give me 2 seconds.
Comes out in the full house formation. He's run draws, he's thrown. So he's mixed it up, even though he's in this formation. So he can't just call run or short yardage defense and expect to be right.
13-yard gain.
Very good.
Cousins. Yeah.
Got some tech issues here with the mouse.
You ready? Deep.
Barkley, guess wrong. One man in the zone. Defender.
Makes the play.
0, so he gets beat.
Oh,
2.
0.
Well, look at it. Yeah, he's getting a 6 against the run, but it's a 0 against the pass.
All right.
First and 10. Just about in field goal range because he's got one of those booming kickers. Get out to the 44, I think. Jake Elliott, yeah, 2 through 9 and 12 up to the 44. Off tackle right to Barkley. He's going to pick up 6. So now you're feeling a little bit of relief if you're Anthony. You just want to turn the ball over here. Rita comes into the game on 2nd and 4, hoping to get a pass call against a not so great runner. Pick up his first and save Barkley's carries.
That's right.
Against the rack, 0 yards. And that'll bring up 34. And your pickup gets wrong. Well, you didn't lose yardage, so containment's not in effect.
That's a big deal right here. Does he go for it if he doesn't get it?
No, he takes the lead. But I have a feeling he's gonna open it up here. Look for a short or long pass to Barkley or Jonnu Smith, maybe even Cooper. I don't think he's gonna run it. He does run it. Off tackle draw, but he only.
Ooh, here we go. 4th and 2.
Gotta kick it. Gotta kick it here. Gotta take the lead. Put the pressure back on.
Playoff game. He's kicking. Elliott's is one of the top kicker cards, right? So.
Yeah. If he misses again, 10 or 11 will miss.
That's good.
He makes it. So there you go. Rochester's overcome a 9-point lead 2 different times and is now taking a 1-point lead. New York's got the ball. 9 minutes left in regulation. And they'll try to put together a drive to retake the lead. Their kicker is good, just not quite as long a range.
Mm-hmm.
Six-yard pickup there, sideline right to Devonta Smith. So sticking with the small ball, knowing he has plenty of time.
Why? No man in the zone.
A.J. Brown.
Ooh, there it is.
71 yards on the long game chart. So much for a small ball. Control
Yeah.
the clock.
Guess right. Hit the card. Boom.
Quick response there to the go-ahead field goal. Now, got to go for 2 here to make it a 7-point game.
Mm. He's thinking about it. Yeah, he's going for it. Here we go.
Yeah, got to. quick strike offense.
You got it.
2-point conversion, offensive onside tackle makes the block Morgan Moses. A 5 boosted up to a 6 in the formation. Now it's Rochester's turn to try to move it down the field. And they'll take a quick drive, they'll take a long drive as long as they wind up in the end zone. See if he goes to the 2 tights, 2 wides, or go back to the full house. He's back to the full house. Three or 4 defense in response. So I'm up in summer sprint, Bob. You got any suggestions for me? Half tackle draw, guess wrong for 4 yards. Again, time's not really a factor here.
No.
Anthony's good. With 7 minutes left, he's got plenty of time to drive it down the field.
Slams the line drawer. Guess wrong.
7-yard pickup. (31-24). New York on top.
Regular season, Rochester won 41-14.
Amazing. It just shows you, like you said, a lot of good coaches, a lot of similar teams. Just the way the dice goes, you never know.
Yeah.
Second and 3. 6:18 to go in regulation. I'll tackle right to Barkley. Picks up 2 only. That's the problem with Barkley's card. He's explosive on the edges, but some of those runs are just okay in the middle. 3rd and 1. Got to pick it up here. Although it's probably 4 down territory now, don't you think?
Yeah, it's 4 down territory. That's in this field position too. Two men in the zone. Got him.
Oh, man. Lost a yard. 4th and 2. So we'll find out if it's 4 down territory.
I didn't see. Did he guess run there, Ryan, or I didn't see him?
I was looking for my pick. I didn't see either. I just Actually, we can check here. We can go to view. What is it? Play log.
Oh.
So we have the play log. Yeah, it was short yardage. So he had
Okay.
short yardage.
Okay.
Guess right.
Yep. Got it.
But you can see there is that's interesting to look at. You can see there that this drive, it's been all pass calls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Except for that one key.
Yeah, that's a great thing. I forgot that feature. That's a great feature. Big play here. 4th and 2 with 5
And
minutes.
you can't really throw flat here because if it goes in the D card, it's 2 men in zone.
Yep.
Inside run Barkley gets wrong. Nobody there. He only gets 1.
Oh. The
5, 6,
whole
and 8. 5, 6, and 8 all don't get it. So 14 chances out of 36 and he doesn't make it. .448 to go, and he needs a first down to get in the field goal range.
Yeah, he needs a first down here. First down would be huge. Time off the clock and field goal range. Guess pass. 2 men in the zone. Game 3.
teams being very deliberate in their calls. 3-4 show and blitz. Ideally for Rochester, a strip sack would be just what the doctor ordered. Scoring to Devonta Smith, guess right. 7-yard pickup and a first down. Now that's what the doctor ordered.
Yeah. All right, now they need a turnover in a big way here.
Yeah, so he is in field goal range now. Let's look at that card real quick.
Who's his
They
kicker?
are Greg DeLay. 33-38. 2 through 9 is good.
Okay.
So you might see him just run it 3 times and then kick a field goal. Cousins has a 7.4 snap fumble out of 1,000.
That's a factor. That could be a factor.
Button hook to Jones, 2-minute zone. He
Oof.
picked up 3. He had moved the outside linebackers. So the white guy was 4, and there was no defender. So he was covered by 0 anyway. That's the TJ Watt spot, 0-6. So even if he would have been, he left him home, it still would have been +3. And that's huge because that keeps the clock running. Takes it down to 3 minutes. 2nd and 7. If you're Anthony, you want to stop the drive and make him kick a field goal so you can get the ball back. If he just runs out the clock, that's not good either. And he still only has 6 incompletions all game. 24-30 for Kirk Cousins. It was 20-25 when we looked at him last. So 4 or 5 so far in this second half. But
Button hook.
Jones trying to key him. Nobody there. 9-yard pickup and another first down.
Okay.
So Anthony going with a high variance, trying to force the issue.
Yep.
2:24 to go. Now he goes. New York goes full house, knowing that he could just take a knee 3 times or run it up the middle 3 times.
I mean, the variable's taken out of the picture here, right? With the variable field goal. So he's pretty much
So let's take a look.
locked in.
So it's 2 through 10, 13 to 22, and 2 through 10, 23 to 32.
Yeah, he's
He's going to get 9 yards.
oh boy.
He has keyed the wrong running back. He went inside to Jones, who was just about a mid-fumbler. And he was keying Dillon, who is a mid-fumbler, so thought he'd run it with the safest back, but that's going to take us down to the 2-minute warning. 2nd and 1. The Rochester still hasn't used any timeouts left yet,
No.
but it's getting to the point where it might not matter if he makes his field goal. Inside run to Dillon, trying to keep Cousins. Another first down. Now Rochester will use their timeouts. Just hoping for that snap fumble.
Yep.
If you would just take a knee here 3 times, that would go 45, 37, take it under a minute left. But
Can you snap fumble on a knee? I don't know. Like,
well, you can, but it's like one. It's 1 out of every 2,500.
oh, okay.
Some large number. 2,560 or something like that. Guess run. Get a pick up 4. Another timeout. Of course, a touchdown here really puts it into it. But I don't think you risk throwing it. I think you just keep running it. He's King Cousins.
Keith Cousins.
He's got a little bit of a fumble hand. This is his chance. This is the game right here.
Yep.
Got a 7.4 snap fumble, and then plus his key thing's going to be like 50 or 60, I bet.
Oh, there it is. Oh. Oh. Wow. Both those guys, they just swallowed really hard. Oh, man.
Okay, so I was wrong. It's 153 guessed when it's keyed. So 75 guessed right, 152 keyed. He fumbled it, but he got it back. It's a 50-50
Wow.
chance to recover those fumbles.
Wow.
Anthony's trying to decide if he needs to use a timeout here. Yeah, you do. Nice call, says Ryan. Heart's on for a second, I bet.
Yep.
Well done to Anthony for making the perfect call there.
Yep.
The clock will stop on a injury or a penalty, both of which are not on in this little set. So in order for Anthony to stop the clock, he's going to have to use a timeout, even with a fumble.
You call time.
So 3rd and goal at the 7. Let's see if Anthony gets another key in here. He hasn't really been using Dylan that much. It's been all Jones. Maybe he keys Jones. He didn't use Dylan.
Take a knee. He's taking a knee.
So that's going to take it to 52 or 45 seconds. 52, I think.
Yeah, 52.
Yep, and now he's going to kick a field goal. That'll take it to 45. Oh, we got a coach joining us from the sidelines during the game. It's unprecedented. Okay, he's giving his juju beans out. The voodoo doesn't help. The field goal was good.
Yeah. Look, Dennis, you've come to me with diplomatic words about my diplomacy on after game videos before. I'm gonna have a hard time this time. I'm gonna have a really hard time. Really, really hard time to stay diplomatic on this one.
Hey, do you have
What's that?
You have a log gain on Shakir's card? Return this for a touchdown.
Nah, I got to say the time. Let's see here.
Yeah, that 4th down run to hold on.
I mean, come on. There was literally 24 plays today. 24 that were once a game stuff. 24. I got a couple, of course, but I mean, it's like 24.
Oh man, I gotta get back in. I'm not in yet. Don't run a play. My stupid thing locked up on the kickoff. Battle Royale. General.
I think the last time I was this upset about a game was a semifinal versus Tyke a couple years ago in Battle Royale, where my blood pressure was like out of control. I mean, I think I've reached those levels today. Those levels.
Well, you have to run us through the plays. I was trying to look for my pick, and it did seem that there was a disproportionate number of where you would have it guessed right on a run call, and it would go on the D card for 8 yards. You'd have it guessed wrong, but 2 men in zone on a flat pass, and it would go on the quarterback's card. Those are the kind of things. On to Shakir here. Incomplete.
Yeah.
But yeah, that 4th down run where you had +1 on a 6 and +1 on an 8. I'm wondering if it would have been better off using one of your other columns.
Yeah. Well, he's so weak up the middle. His linebackers are so weak. You basically have anything on the defensive card. You're gonna get it. Okay, and then you're gonna get it on. It was guess wrong, right?
Yeah, it's guess wrong.
You're getting a 22 or 36 on Barclays.
Yeah.
So overall, that's 36 plus 22, right? 58. I don't know.
Right. Although maybe he stops you on a nose tackle run or something. Oh, but he didn't have anybody in zone. Yeah.
He had 2 in zone. But they're not good.
Right.
Those linebackers do a disservice to the nose tackle.
But there are some roles that says like nose tackle or man in zone or nose tackle even with 2 men in zone that might have stopped it. But anyway, regardless, it was pretty high chance of converting.
All that being said, this is not a very this is not a very good Rochester Jefferson squad. But
No, second seed.
no, it's not. I mean, Barkley's card is that's a problem.
You got a steal though with the quarterback so late. I remember thinking, wow, how did they let him have Stafford? I think it was the last quarterback, right?
Yeah. Look, the play of the game was the successful double team on AJ Brown on 4th down.
Yes, but it was
They
the
went for a
linebacker
touchdown.
double team. It was a linebacker
That
double
was-
team, right?
Yeah, that was like a 6 out of 36.
Well, it hit a receiver reading, and if it wasn't, of course, it was a 7. We know it was a 7. That would have been incomplete on any wide receiver, but he had chances if you're just not knowing the role ahead of time. But yeah, still a good call. You had the right read. You had his tendencies down. But man, that's an awful time to get sniper scoped for sure.
Oh, on the 4th and 2. I mean, that's the game, and then I mean the 4th down conversion. I mean, but where every time I successfully key on a 4th down conversion, it's I think Bob, I think you had one too. But that was a rough one. That was a rough one. I think Ryan did the right thing. I mean, Ryan did the right thing. Offensively, small ball best you can. But wow, I mean, it was just 34 points of small ball.
Yeah, but you turned it around in the second half because the time of possession is pretty even. So you put together some long drives as well, running it and mixing up your passes. Going to that full house formation seemed to help out as well too.
Look, I had these successful drives in the first half using carries that ended up in 0 points because of 2 through 9, 12 missed field goals or just unbelievable rolls on 3rd and 2, where it's like 30 out of 36 and you're missing. And so I burned those carries on the drive. That's why I had to go out to too tight. I mean, one of the flaws of the team, and it's a flaw of the team, is that I don't have that many carries. Right, I still had to manage Barkley for a last drive. He had just enough for a last drive, and Ty Johnson had just enough for a last drive. So when I come out of drives like that in the first half, where I'm doing whatever I want on offense until I get 3rd and 2 at his 45 or whatever, where I can't do anything, or 2nd and 2, and I can't do anything. And you burned all the carries to get there, and you end up with 0 points. That's you're like, this may be trouble. But it's not like the too tight was ineffective. The too tight was perfectly effective. I mean, except in key spots. I got a couple lucky rolls. I got the double team before the first half on a 3rd and 5 for 5 yards where he successfully double teamed. But I mean, those were just so few and far between. I mean, just so few. When I was going in down 2 and I had a clear shot on a 3rd and 3 or whatever. Guessed wrong, nobody home. Full house. Barkley, +2. Where, he's averaging something. I don't have the number. I might have the number in front of me. He's averaged something like, because of my line, I have all 6s on the line. He's averaging something much, much higher than 2 yards. And he gets his bad number. I mean, yeah, it was rough.
That was definitely rough. You put up 329 yards of offense, but we're 0 for 2 on 4th down, and your numbers in the red zone were perfect. So every time you got in the red zone, you got a touchdown. And yeah, that was rough. Saquon, was there another running back group you were looking at instead of Saquon?
Yeah, Cleveland.
Cleveland
is who I wanted. Yeah. Yeah, so let's just look at the ball possession here. First drive, 7 plays, 35 yards, missed field goal. Next drive, 8 and a punt, mostly runs. So I burned up 15 runs roughly for no points. Then I got the touchdown, which is good. That was on the double team completion on flat pass. That got over the edge. And then he came out. I mean, look at his drives. I mean, 42, 71, 53, 75. So, I mean, the offense was these sort of key plays where you were like, wow, this can't happen that many times in a game. Look, Barkley is going to go +1 line buck sometimes. That's on his card. It's why I didn't want him, and so it's going to happen. But it happened a lot. And then, but I think the bigger story was on defense. The bigger story was on D, where I was helpless. I was helpless.
Yeah. Yeah, the average pass defense against a flat passer is rough. And he was hitting Cousins' card left and right for sure.
Now the first half, I thought he did a really good job because I wasn't calling run much, and he mixed it in well, and he was getting a lot of good guessed wrong. Second half, I adjusted a bit, called run more, and it was not a good story. Guessed right running, for the defense.
Right.
It just wasn't. +8 on 2 off tackles. It was a key end run for 2 points. Keyed with Watt, by the way. Yeah.
Well, we almost had the number 1 and number 2 seeds knocked out. There was a one play away from. Hey, we got Ryan with us. What's up, Ryan?
All right.
Good evening.
You figured it out. Congratulations, Ryan.
Yeah, that took me a second there. Sorry about that.
So how about that 31-yard double teamed sniper scope for the touchdown? What were you feeling when you hit that one and when you hit the 70-something long touchdown?
I a little bit couldn't believe it. He was blitzing me all night, which I was clearly concerned about. So I kept it pretty close to the vest, throwing flats and running the ball. But I knew I had to, take a couple shots here and there sporadically and base them out. And the dice were definitely in my favor, on those two for sure.
Yeah, and then the 4th down runs with Saquon, where he kept hitting the bad number. That was, I think, the other key play in this game.
Yeah, that was definitely huge. And I was kind of just, okay with him getting the first. Was just trying to limit the big play on my end. And again, I got really lucky there on that roll.
Fair enough. So.
Did a great job on offense. Keep playing small ball. Avoiding the sacks. That was nicely done. And you were having so much success with it. I mean, why the hell would you stop? I mean, it was like holy mackerel. The drive coming out of the half, where you hit multiple short gains on your card flat. You were just flying down the field, flat pass, guessed right, one man, just flying.
Yeah,
I mean, there was no stopping you.
Those were the right or wrong rolls. It didn't matter, those short games. There's nothing I or you could do about it on either side of the ball. I couldn't believe it either because like you said, I was playing small ball and settling for 3 most of the game.
Yeah, this is. They only have like 6 incompletions with this rule set. Is pretty amazing. So great job.
Thank you.
Using that.
Yeah.
You didn't just stick with the small ball. You opened it up there in the second half. That 4th down play, the other long touchdown. So you were able to mix in a couple of big plays, and you avoided the D drive and stayed away from the sacks. So.
To me, the key play of the game, and look, there's a lot of key plays, right? I mean, but it's that 3rd and 3 at the 30-something where I was down to guessed wrong. Barkley gets it, roughly around 30 or 36 and gets his +2. Yeah. And look, I could have gone for it, right? I chose not to. I wanted to take the lead for once.
Yeah.
Felt like a good idea. And but if he just converts that, then but to have to settle for that one was a sneaky important play of the game. So Ryan, I was saying that you caused me. I think the last time my blood pressure was this high in a game was in a battle royale versus Tyke semifinal a couple years ago, where I was just throwing shit everywhere all game long. So there you go. Good work. You've caused me to go to the doctor.
I mean, it took a lot to go right my way for me to pull this one off, and it took a lot on my end to just stay patient. And even staying patient, I'm like, I'm gonna have to squeak out, one score win here, because you picked the best team to play, in my opinion, against my guys, because my team I don't think matches up well with your team and your offense and your strategy with all the full house and the throwing long to the backs and the tights. So I I didn't feel great about going into it, but I don't know, just tried to hang in there.
And I got in a hole early. It didn't end up costing me. I mean, I still scored 24 points. But I was telling Dennis, missing that field goal, because I burned a lot of carries on those first two drives, probably a dozen carries, and got no points.
Yeah.
And that forced me out of the full house. I couldn't keep on feeding Barkley. I'd run out of carries. So I had to go too tight. Not that too tight was ineffective. At the end of the day, the offense was not the problem. At the end of the day, it was the defense that was the problem. Your flat passing, one man guessed right, was just unstoppable. And for whatever reason, I mean, I lost to Ed that way in Autumn Wind 2 years ago, Dennis. Flat pass, one man guessed right, no yak, just is a playoff killer. And it is. Oh, by the way, if I had to say my least favorite part of the game is the ability for small ball just to take over a game. Where you just what do you do?
Are you saying without the yak?
Yeah, without the variability of yak.
I tend to agree with you on that premise. Just because the flat cards are so good now on quarterbacks that right or wrong, getting 6-7 yards is so hard to defend.
Yeah, so hard. Yeah, especially when average.
Yeah. We're seeing that in the NFL too, though. There are times where a team just can't stop the other team with this short passing game. Although there certainly seems to be more answers on an NFL field than there is on a Stratomatic field. You're limited.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look, the yak just adds the element of variability. That's all. I mean, you're still gonna average as many yards either way at the end of the day, but you're gonna get yourself in more 2nd and 12s, and that's going to dictate some different play calling. On a 3rd and 1. You're not necessarily going to rely on your AAC doesn't really get you a first down more than a CAC, so you don't default to the flat passes as much. It's you think twice before just pumping the flat pass. The variability helps, but besides the realism, I mean, there's no plus zeros in Strat on a flat. There's a lot of different outcomes that are just simply not possible in Stratomatic, because if you don't play with yak as well, which is kind of unrealistic.
Fair enough. All right, well, guys, I got to get going. Thank you very much for jumping on. I appreciate that. I'll put the links out there after I add some little graphics to it.
Stand by. Congrats again to Ryan. But Dennis, we got to get into your summer sprint pick here.
Yeah, we do. I'm going to end the
stream. So let's talk that.
Okay.
Ryan, you're not in summer sprint. What happened?
I'm not. I'm super busy at work like these upcoming months, and so I didn't want to keep you guys behind or anything like that. But I do plan on playing again in the summer in the future and Battle Royale again next season. So just taking this one season off to get caught up with some boring work stuff.
Great. Well, you don't have to stick around for the summer sprint talk unless you don't want to. But Dennis, are you going to pick now? Can we stick with you through your pick?
Sure. I mean, I'm going to end the stream though.
Thanks, guys.
You're going to end the stream?
Yeah, I don't want to give away my secrets. I'm going to talk about possibilities.
We want your secrets.
You can have them, but I don't want anybody else to have them.
All right.
See you, guys.
Take care, guys.
See you, Ryan. Thank you.
Yep. Bye.